Okay, for this project I'm going to show you how we can do some texture painting. I've provided a model for you to open. I downloaded this at free3d.com. Before we get into the painting, I do want to point something out to you. If I go over to the render, you'll see these basically like softbox lights that the artist placed in this, which is a really nice way to get good lighting effects when you go to render your image. So those can be found over here. Right here's the overhead lighting, and then the ground plane is right here. If those are getting in the way as we work on the texture painting, you could hide those temporarily and might make it a little bit easier for you to paint. So to paint, I'm going to focus right now just on the trailer part of it. So I'm going to select that while I'm in object mode. Then I'm going to go to UV editing, and we'll see that this trailer is made in multiple sections. There's a lot of different faces here. So if I select, say, this face, and then I go look over here, you'll notice both of those got selected. If I select this one, both of these get selected. What's happening here is that the artist mirrored this side to this side. So they only designed one side of the trailer and then mirrored it. So we're going to keep that in mind when we're doing our texture painting. Whatever you do to one side is going to automatically be applied to the other side. So before we paint, we need to unwrap this UV layer. So to do that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to come up here and go into wireframe mode. And then I'm going to select everything. Now notice it's only selecting the trailer because that's all I had selected in object mode before I moved into UV wrap, so that's good. Then you can either leave it like this or go back, doesn't matter. But I'm going to hit U on the keyboard. Okay, and then that's going to bring up my UV options. And I'm going to do the Smart UV Project. And I'm going to add, before I say unwrap, I'm going to add a little bit of a spacing to the island, maybe like 0.05 before I unwrap it, and I'll show you in a second why I'm doing that. So that island, basically each section is an island, and if I don't do that, it leaves no space in between, which can make it kind of hard to paint, especially some of these smaller areas, without bleeding over into the other. So that's why I added that. So basically we are now looking at every single face that you see on the trailer, you're now seeing over here. To start painting, I need to go up to texture paint, and I'm going to double check and make sure that I'm in regular viewport shading, but I'm going to click the little drop down and make sure I'm in flat instead of studio. Studio is going to show shading. I want to make sure I'm in flat so that I'm just seeing the paint color. Then what I want to do is I want to go to my material slots, and I need to add, I have no textures right now, I need to add a new material slot, and I'm going to do just a base color. And the default resolution should be good enough. I don't need the alpha, and that should be the only thing we need to change. I'll hit add. Okay, now I am ready to start painting. So what I can do is either over here or right up here, select the color I want. I'm on my brush right now, and I can start painting. Now over here, as I start painting on faces, you can see which ones correspond. So you can paint directly on the model itself, or I can come over here, and this is why I did the island, so that I'm not accidentally bleeding over. So we can see that it might be faster and easier if I want to do the entire top. It looks like this is going to be the top of the trailer, just to go through and do it all over here. Entirely up to you. If you want to resize the brush, hit F and then just move your mouse, and I can make it bigger, and now I can start painting much faster. But basically you just need to work your way around. If you know that you want to paint something really tiny but you're not sure what it corresponds to over here, you can set your color. Let me make this a whole lot smaller. And then let's say I'm wanting to work with this. Well, now if I come over here, I can see, okay, that was the one that got hit. Now I can make this a little bit bigger, and there we go. Now that one's painted. So oftentimes you'll want to go back and forth just depending on what you're painting and how detailed you want to be. Okay, so for this project, just work your way around and finish the trailer, then go back to your layout, object mode, select the cab, same process. Go back to UV editing, go into wireframe again, select the entire cab, hit U, go to Smart UV Project. It kept my island information, so that's good. I'll unwrap it. And you're going to quickly notice that with this cab, there is a ton of detail on this with an insane number of faces. This is going to be a challenge to paint all of that. With this one, you're going to want to stick with just painting on the cab itself and limit yourself to not a ton of detail, or it's going to take a very long time to complete this project. When you go into texture paint, you're going to see that it kept the same texture that we had before that we were using for the trailer. So for this one, we're going to need to create a new texture. And then, yeah, everything else looks good. And there we go. Now we have a new texture that we can start working with for the cabs, so we're not working with the same one that we were using for the trailer. So that is the basics of UV unwrapping and texture painting.